Admiral and HD Philly B for your answer.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. The desk, as always, wonderful and fantastic and ever so loving as they are. But most importantly, ladies and gentlemen of the crowd, I am accompanied here by the one, the only, the other beautiful man I know as well that loves to cast alongside with me. You know him, you love him, HD Philly B, baby.
You're giving me too much glaze, friend. You know, we're about to have some fun here in this finals match for Division 2. I couldn't be more hyped for this contest. I kind of hope it goes the distance. I'm locked in for the long haul, man. I hope you are too.
Man, I am here for the long haul, so I'm so excited to see how long this matches go on for it, though. But most importantly, though, as they were talking about a little bit earlier with the desk, talking about Noob down, man, we've seen this time and time again, right? The seeds that always end up pushing out to the finals, and then just something climactic happens at the end, right? We get to see this neck and neck battle. You know, teams are playing up at their highest peak performance. They want to take the win. They want to make sure that they don't take the loss, and most importantly, what ends up happening is we get to see back-to-back matches. I mean, typically we always end up going to Game 3 when it comes to the final stages.
Yeah, and I guess the big thing, because esports is such a mental game, and I think where Noob Down is, they've been sitting on ice for a couple hours now, or they're just waiting. Who's meeting us in the finals? Whereas Abrahamsjr, they've had these steady, methodical games where they've been practicing their game plan and finding secure victories. I actually like them moving into this final just because they have that momentum behind them, but this will really test the mettle of Noob Down in terms of how they bounce back from being on ice for so long.
Yeah, and I agree with you, man. Abrahams has just been doing such a fantastic job as well picking the tank characters. I mean, they have Abraham, right? They have Abrams in their there's a monochrome name in the name, right? So it's no surprise that they end up picking the Abrams again. And here we go already. The first round, Abrahamsjr Noob Down, as we are ending here to the climactic finish of tonight. I am so excited, Philly. How about you?
I'm hype, as I said, my friend. What I'm most thrilled for is this Viper pick. It's the last pick of the draft. That means it's the glue, the X factor that is going to bring everything together. And as the desk stated, this mid-game, early game tempo is where they really need to thrive if they want to set up their Victor and Mirage for good success. So Ramsey's going to have a lot to lift here in the mid lane, already under some pressure.
Right, and great choicing around from Noob Down as well, being able to get Big Beef and Shactus in there. Again, Big Beef on the Mina is such an impressive character in the lane, right? We've seen those those vampire bites just come in and just put pressure on, and it's very dangerous for taking characters early on because of how often she could proc them, and the bigger the target, the easier it is to do it, and we are seeing it live in front of us.
And this is going to be a skill check between this Viper and Mina, because Mina, I think, takes that every day of the week. As long as she can be shifty, use that Sanguine Retreat, stay above this Viper, make sure that she has to look around to find you. If you do, you can get those love bites off and really burst her down. So just watch the battle of those two. But Mo and Krill, that is one of my favorite characters. We love to see the Mole Man here in the Cursed Apple. He's in the safe lane, trying to protect this Victor, be the front line, the nuisance, to allow him to get some farm.
I think this is such an interesting kind of composition here because, like you said, they want to be able to be that nuisance that we love to see from Mo and Krill. But one thing's for sure, I think that always just comes into it. Oh, he's dropping really low. Oh, that's going to be the first kill of the game. Noob Down secures the first blood on Kami, and it's going to be another kill on Ascend as Abrahamsjr loses 2 for that fight.
Big Beef, like we said, just bursting people with those love bites, securing a kill there. But a lot of times if you're running the safe lane, right, you try to counter with a lot of sustainability, and Silver with the Calvin has that at their back. So if the Moan Crow does push up, the Frost Grenade will slow him down. He's not slippery just yet, doesn't have any of those stamina items online, so he stepped up a little too far in lane, got punished for it, has to be careful. Space created, you could say, for Victor, but you know, you don't want to give up too many of those kills. A lane we haven't talked yet about, Admiral, is lane 3. This is the Page and the Mirage. Escapability and just holding it down, creating a lot of push with the troopers by clearing waves quickly is the name of the game, where Warden is just going to try to get as much farm as humanly possible.
Yeah, and then we are seeing that as already as Tucson is just doing a good job of being able to secure boxes and allowing Cozy just to get that little bit of more of soul secure. One of the more important parts that always comes in for the support lineup is trying to challenge the other support, right? You don't ever kind of want to just leave your supports by themselves with an off kind of composition character. Like, say, for example, if Dynamo is lined up with Mo and Crow, right? That's a bit of an off composition lane. You don't necessarily want to have both of them there for that, because one, they don't really focus on priority on one thing or another. Instead, you want to be able to prioritize your supports versus supports and let your gunners do the rest of the damage.
Yeah, you gotta make sure they stay in lane as much as possible. As a support player myself, right? It's like I sacrifice my life as much, not as much as possible, but more often than not to make sure my carry gets out alive and gets those souls, because these timings for Noob down are gonna be crucial. Dynamo, fairly decent in the early game, but really comes online late when you have refresher and you can get those major black holes and really swing team fights when those cooldown timers are exponentially long. So look for to kind of scale up throughout this game, but has a job to do in this early to get the Warden off to a good start, and at 2.8k he's doing a decent job.
Yeah, and I completely agree with you as well. As a Dynamo main myself, one of the main things that people always tend to forget is that Dynamo does not really activate until you hit the 20k mark, right? And an important part about that is just staying alive. Dynamo is one of those characters that in this name tag it says clutch moments, and it's primarily because of his black hole and how versatile it is at being able to pull enemies even through objectives and walls and being able to stun objectives. I think that's another thing that people tend to forget, is that the black hole is one of the few abilities in this game that allows you to activate it and still target an enemy through terrain. The same thing with this quantum. This quantum is allowed to be able to get targeted through terrain as well. But speaking of being able to get targeted, are we already seeing Ascent dropping tremendously low, and Big Beef takes down the big hunk of a man himself. Ascent is down again.
This is a really tough lane for the Abrams. He's just getting poked out. It's hard to find some of those shoulder charge opportunities. You feel like when the level 6 comes online and the Bola is available for Ramsey, which it is now, they might be able to set up some of those kills. Bola, shoulder charge, etc. The, you know, screwdriver, dagger, that kind of thing. But they've given up a couple kills, and this Mina extremely good around that 15 to 20 minute mark, and with a 4k lead right now, like that's kind of scary, my friend. So gots to be careful for sure. Still a lot of game to go though. It's about even with 20 to 22 in terms of the soul disparity.
One thing's for sure though, Abrahamsjr is if they essentially kind of start losing their early lane a little bit, I do believe they have a stronger opportunity to scale in comparison to Noob down, right? We've seen time and time again where a lot of teams tend to lose their early Guardians and then just majestically come back because they're fighting for soul, they're pushing objectives, or not necessarily pushing objectives, they're pushing for farms on the enemy team, and then also at the same time stealing a lot of boxes. So again, Abrahamsjr, if they're struggling for the right now, they can easily play the late game and try to focus on just, you know, obtaining as much souls as possible through neutral objectives like boxes and camps.
Yeah, bend, don't break, right? It's like, okay, we might lose a little bit, but as long as we're keeping close, we know that when our timings come, that's when we'll strike. The other part about this mid lane is that bridge priority, and Mina is so good at pushing people back and getting to that top of the bridge. Once she's there, she can free fire on you, and Viper doesn't want to be in that firing range. It's a squishy character, so very scary when you take some of that spirit damage early on. This is where like a lot of the hot topics is going to be in this mid lane as they're jockeying. If they get this Guardian down, the Shiv will have chances to roam, cause uneasy matchups in the other side lanes, which could really help Noob down through this early mid game portion.
I wholeheartedly agree with you on that, and you're seeing it right now, this kind of instruction to push forward and make sure that Noob down has a lot of limelight to be able to secure objectives and be able to get kills. But Abrahamsjr is setting up a little bit something cheeky. I think Noob down is aware that Ramsey is rotating around because they are seeing that Abrams is by themselves and he is just 1v2ing for the life of him. That poor man is only trying so hard to keep himself alive, and he is just doing his best. Ascent is holding it down in the mid lane, and we're just going to be seeing Ramsey just farm up, and this is what we're talking about. You know, being able to secure camps, get those souls is an important part of scaling as characters, and ones that prioritize gun.
But is that the side you want to rotate to? You're fighting into a Silver and a Calvin, which, you know, Victor doesn't have too much follow-up yet, so it's really tough to try to lock people down, and she does need a few more souls, the Viper, to really get that burst damage, right? Viper wants to be in and out of these engagements, doesn't want to stick around for long, but this combination play is exactly what the Snake is looking for.
Ooh, the parry comes in, Mocro's gonna get knocked out, but Ramsey secures a kill for themselves. That's exactly what we want to see for Abrahamsjr, is being able to feed, you know, their lovable little New Jersey woman, if you will.
you know, being from the New Jersey area, I agree with everybody's hate of Viper because, you know, everybody hates people from Jersey where I'm from, so it makes a lot of sense. But right now, that is the combination they need so they can confirm getting Lethal Venom and the Petrifying Bola to connect there and secure those stacks for the Moan Krill as well. So a great rotation, catching the Shiv, making his rotation and stopping him in his tracks.
Speaking of the New Jersey woman here, Ramsey is just doing a great job of just making sure that all the camps are being put into his pocket. Again, this is what you want to see from gun characters, them being able to take that lead to a certain advantage of it. And we are going to be seeing Abrahamsjr building a lot for this objective of being able to secure souls. As their fight goes on here on the right lane, Tatsuni is going to be knocked out by the Tornado, but luckily enough though, it was a little bit of a terrain misadjustment there. Tornado not able to bypass the bridge, as a result, stuck in the air for a little bit longer than they anticipated.
And that bridge control is so important for the Mirage because he wants to get those Digen marks onto people, and if he has that high ground advantage, he can spread that ability around to the troopers, to the fellow heroes, etc., and really provide some of that lane pressure he is known for in the early game. And speaking of pressure here, the Nox Nostra to lock down the detective, and Ascend will descend into the grave once more.
Unfortunate right there, Ascend being caught out. The Guardian not able to last enough long for them. Again, this is a little bit of a mistiming there. We were talking about this a little bit earlier, is that maybe we do not want to see Ramsey just pushing out so far forward for objectives this early on, but I do believe that they were anticipating that Guardian being taken down so quickly. Big Beef now has the capability to be able to rotate out between lanes, and we are seeing just that as they're going in to set up this buff for the Vampiro Lady.
Vampiro Lady, I'm using that. That's good. I gotta look up what vampire is in Italian, and then maybe I can take that from you on that side. But it's a good, this is perfect positioning, right? You pressure in lane and then immediately rotate to objective. They found the bridge buffs. Now let's see what they can do off of it. This is also the detriment of why Viper's not always picked, is that if she leaves the lane partner, you can kind of get punished for it. The Abrams just sitting there like a duck and just getting absolutely demolished. So unfortunately, Ascend not finding the early game advantage he is looking for. The first earned captured though for Abrahamsjr. They're looking to convert.
Looks like they're trying to be putting on a little bit of pressure on this. As Moan Krill is just getting chased down by this Mina. Big Beef wants a little bit more of a slice of that Moan Krill instead of that Big Beef that he's so used to. But again, that's what we're seeing is they go ahead and push out for the right-hand side lane. It's going to be an earn fight already this early on at the 11-minute mark. This is looking very nice here. And Neurosis is also dropping very low as well, as he's just holding on for life against Kami. But here we are as going into the right lane. The fight is already lingering on for this one. They want to be able to slam dunk this earn, and I think they're just going to do just that. Ascend comes into the heavens, comes in with the Cyclist Fan, being able, and it gets blocked off by Sun with the dome. As the fight is going on to the right-hand lane, we are going to be seeing Last Stand get triggered out. The Knights of the Round Table come in from out of nowhere, being able to knock it up. This Moan Krill is stuck in a really bad position. Nox Nostra is going to be able to silence him out. He's dropping down to 20 HP, and he's down for the fight. Abrahamsjr loses 2 for that slam dunk that they so needed, and I do believe they got their souls taken away out of it as well. That was not a good fight for them.
Disastrous. I mean, what a deny from Sun with the frozen shelter to basically goaltend the slam dunk, right? And then he was able to return the earn himself. What a great turnaround from Noob down. The Abrahamsjr side, they don't have great team fight ultimate abilities. It's really the rallying charge and the seismic impact, which they layered in, but not to great effect. And I think it was just a heroic play from Sun with that frozen shelter to really get the fight started and turn the tide. So fantastic recognition of the strategy and execution from Noob down. Fantastic.
Great retaliation right there. Tucson, again, trying to play that hero play. We see it time and time again, right? The Dynamo ult is there. You want to be able to do something with it. And it's just such an important part to hold on to, you know? You don't want to be so eager for it. And look at this. The timing of that was so good. Like, he's hiding behind the wall there. He was just waiting for it. And Abrahamsjr just wanted to secure it so badly, but they couldn't. And it's just unfortunate right there. And Fett is by themselves up front, and they're just using everything against them. There's only so much you could do as a Moan Krill. You're a big beefy boy. Yeah. I understand that Big Beef wants some more meat on his bones, so I totally get it. Get rid of the Moan Krill, get some more meat off of him.
Take those pork chops. I always think he's not really a pig. I guess he's a mole, but nobody wants to eat mole meat, right? Like, that's just kind of weird. A mole's probably, I don't know, you can't eat a mole. Either way, something I did notice through that replay was this last stand from Cozy really split the fight and caused folks to separate. The reanimation, though, expended willy-nilly. That's a huge cooldown off the board.
Yeah, that is a very big cooldown already. Neurosis losing that against the Dynamo, not the best thing that could happen out for them. But again, we are seeing Fenix just come in to support out the dead man. You know, the man who got brought back to life mysteriously, as far as we know. You know, it could be over the fact that, you know, like maybe Viper brought him back to life. You know, maybe Viper was looking for a man one night, and you know, it was like, hey, resurrection. But here we are in the mid lane as the fight is starting off for this one. Shactus actually secures a kill onto him. He's really low though. Will Ramsey try to chase it down, misses the screwdagger on it, not able to secure the kill onto the ship, and Shactus comes out alive with that smug little portrait in the corner there.
Oof. Yeah, the petrifying bola, I believe, just went a little awry. If that had connected, the ship would have been locked down for sure. That's another thing. Those are a lot of skill shots coming out from the Viper. You've got to connect them. Now everybody running for their lives here on Abrahamsjr. They cannot find their footing so far in this match.
I think right now what we're kind of expecting here for Abrahamsjr is to not necessarily try to take every single fight right now, right? They have a composition where they want to be able to try to secure as many souls as they can to be able to recover. I mean, they have CJ on Page, who, in my opinion, is just a fantastic support right now. Really strong support at the moment that just has great utility usage. And I constantly say, because I play support, so Page, Dynamo, Ram, Doorman are my theater kids. They're my holy quadra there. But the one thing's for sure, anyone who plays Paige understands that when you pick her up, it feels like you're playing Beethoven or Canon in D by Bach.
Okay, I mean, dropping some knowledge on me, buddy. I don't know those. Well, I know the composer. I don't know the songs, but I like the comparison there. And yes, this Page is going to be so incredibly important, not only in the laning phase, but also during these pit engagements right around mid-boss to really deny some of those, people trying to jump in, or on these urn takes, right? Which we're already seeing the next urn being gathered here, and it's at a disadvantage already for Noob down there that far ahead.
I see the professor.
We are already setting up another urn fight, and I think this is interesting if Noob Down tries to just secure this for them, because it is on the side of Abrahamsjr. They are on an 8k soul difference, which is very interesting, because normally, correct me if I'm wrong, the soul sides don't necessarily switch until the 15k, right? It has to be like a huge stagnant difference.
I thought it was like a percentage, right? It's like 10% difference or something like that, and then that decides whether it'll go to each side. But either way, disadvantage earn. Right now, Noob Down doing the intelligent thing of just grabbing it and holding on to it. They have all the ultimates necessary to take this fight should they want to, but really, this is just to keep their lead and deny Abrahams from getting their carries into the positions that they want to be. Ramsey, though, leading the pack here at 15k, but this Abrams once again being chunked down.
That damage from Big Beef is already just so good. I mean, he was able to almost kill Ascend with just a single magazine. Those bats really do hurt if you are not worrisome of your positioning against Mina. But we are going to be see Turtle take out Sun. That's a good trade-off right there. They've been needing something out for the engagement. Here it is, a singularity. Shiv being able to take out two for this one. Gets the execution onto that mole man. Page was able to use the net to the round table there to keep them alive for just a second longer, but CJ, a bit of misfortunate timing there, is going to get chased down by the ship, and the Shactus secures 2 kills as he hits that 5-player kill streak. This is looking mighty good for the side of Noob Down.
I was waiting for you to go ape when the black hole first erupts here from the professors, and you did not disappoint, my friend. But the rallying charge is really supposed to be that denial of that black hole, and it saved them for a little bit, but it's not strong enough just yet. And so, yeah, they just sliced on through. There's some excellent kill secure from this side in terms of Shactus and Big Beef. But once again, the unsung hero is this Warden. Soren highlighted him in the draft. This character is so good in terms of team fights, taking objectives, etc. He is just wiping the floor once these big ultimates come through.
Those big ultimates are what's changing a lot of the dynamics for the team fights for the sides of Noob Down, right? Tucson having Singularity in the pocket right there was just perfect timing around it. CJ unfortunately had to position themselves a little bit better to be able to use the Knights of the Rallying Charge to stop the Singularity and, you know, getting a little bit of a knock up onto the Professor. But again, all that little time of importance when it comes into every single team fight matters, because every second counts in part when ultimates are activated. We see it time and time again where people have a bit of a hesitation when it comes to using ultis just to target one person, and in part it's primarily because a lot of ultimates have like a long cooldown, and here we are, we're seeing the Professor be like, no, don't get this is not for you.
Yeah, just denying the space there. The urn still is yet to be turned in from either side. However, Admiral, the mole man, he's like, all right, I know these streets pretty well. Let's see if I can run it home. But it's going to be a tall, actually going to be a fine order for them, actually, because they have it on their side. So hopefully this will get them back in. They're not out of this one just yet.
I don't think so. And this is going to be a risky deposit from the side of Abrahams, because they're letting a lot of objective flow straight into their walkers. I mean, if they fall for this fight, that's going to be mid-walker down for them. But speaking of being able to fall for this one, we are going to be seeing the dead man take on whatever he can. He's going to be resurrected from the grave itself. Neurosis is going to be taken down for this one. He's going to hit with the Nox right. They're going to silence this poor man. He's already dead. You don't got to kill him twice for it. The urn doesn't actually get deposited. It gets knocked out for it. The Sights Slant gets triggered on for it. The dome is out by Sun. We are going to be seeing the combo get targeted onto Dynamo. The Professor is holding on for dear life, but his team comes in at the perfect timing. Noob down, secures the urn, and is able to take down not one, but 4 people for the side of Abrahamsjr.
Oh my, this Sun is the MVP. He probably won't get it on the scoreboard. It probably will be Big Beef, but Sun has saved these objectives and provided these sneaky domes time and time again. That is 2 earned denials that he has gotten for his squad. The reason this is such a big lead for Noob Down is because of this support player. Sun, flowers to you, my friend. That is immaculate work from him. The Victor, that's sometimes his job is to just take resources, right? A ton of people had to focus him to take him down. There was 4 members there to eliminate him. All right, which means let's get the urn. Let's trade something. Sometimes you have to trade an HP pool for an objective, but that's where Sun comes in to deny it once again. I mean, can't be understated the way this player is performing right now. So everything going the way of Noob Down, and just in time for the next turn to come online.
Ooh, this is a bit of a... Oh, we are going to see the Petrified get tucked onto a Big Beef. Is going to have to Sanguine Retreat out of there. No more abilities. The Science is going to get triggered off her. Is he going to be able to dive after him? No. Oh, he actually manages to... That would have been a trade for Ramsey and Big Beef. But they both come out of that with 40 HP in a dream.
This is what we were highlighting at the beginning of the match, Admiral. If these two go toe-to-toe, I actually like the Mina better. She wants to be above. She's got the Sanguine Retreat. And you saw that Ramsey slithered down into the sewers, right? Both of them being lore accurate, expending their ultimates, all their cooldowns. It could have gone either way, one more shot apiece, but that was because that Ramsey had the surprise. If it's just a neutral fight in the mid lane, that's going to go Big Beef's way every day of the week. But it's good to see them both limit testing here as we enter the mid game.
And we are going to be seeing Noob Down try to limit test this already. They are taking the urn into the enemy side. They want to try to fight for that. Actually, no. I think they're going to try to hold on to this a little bit longer than they can and put it into their base. Or just kind of be, you know, like, hey, we're going to keep this here in the lane, try to see if we can push this up a little bit forward before we decide whether or not we want to be able to secure this urn. And I think that's actually looking to the favor, because, I mean, look at this. Noob Down is sending a lot just to make sure that the lanes get pushed out forward in comparison to Abrahamsjr, who's just sending out the entirety of the team to fight against 4 people.
Yeah, this is probably an earned strategy of just, like, once again, keeping it away from Abrahamsjr, making sure that they don't secure it, right? It's not necessarily that they have to go for it, because they don't. They're in the lead. They're comfortable with where their lane states are at. They still have Guardians on both lane 1 and 3, so they're fine. The Shiv, he's maybe not fine here. They use everything on him. A Nox Nostra from the high ropes won't save his lane partner, but hey, that's what happens when you're a Shiv trying to make those rotations.
Ooh, a bit unfortunate there. The leader of the Vaxxer Society is going to be hunted down by the monsters themselves. Abrahamsjr is using everything they can to make sure that he is down and put down for sure. But that hefty respawn timer is going to be put onto Shaxx at 40 seconds. It's going to be crucial for Abrahamsjr to be able to try to catch up for a lot of it. And Ramsey is just getting chased down. Oh, the bola comes in at the perfect timing. The dome is out as waiting. There's going to be 3 versus 2 in there. Abrams comes in with the double pin. Here we are seeing Mo Crow come up with the double melee punch in it. But the positioning of everyone is all over the place. We are seeing Ramsey try to fight off this Mina. But it's going to be a trade as Cozy is taken down for it. Rosie actually gets Ramsey out of the fight for this. Mo and Crow are by themselves. They're just getting mowed down by everyone. And Noob down secures 3 kills for themselves. Abrahamsjr is going to be hit with that hefty respawn timer.
Oh my gosh, Ramsey with a perfect bola to stop the last stand. You saw him petrified in the motion, canceled the ult, but it is Sun, folks, once again with the frost grenades to heal up the squad, keep them fighting. And you know what happens? Big Beef comes waddling it up and takes Ramsey down in like 3 shots. We know how that matchup is going to go, and now they're rolling this right into the mid boss. A player we haven't highlighted yet, Admiral, is Cammy. They have just been farming away in lane number 1 without a care in the world. They have 27,000 souls, and they're not even on a kill streak. That is just proving how much they've been farming. So as soon as this werewolf actually enters the fray, it is going to be more than over for the side of Abrahamsjr. They have nothing to defend against this silver.
I don't think they have a lot to do with it at all. CJ, even though is playing Page, if the Page is falling off and behind, they're not going to be able to try to prioritize on buying items. And on part, when you don't have all the Guardians up either, that's kind of rough. I mean, we are seeing CJ build in the knockdown and the slowing hex, but only so much can be done afterwards. I think, if anything, something that would be very good for it would be Silence Wave, because they're a team that's just very ability usage, and we are seeing it here as Noob Down is just using everything in their pockets just to secure a single kill on the Mirage.
I love the shout for the Silence Wave, right? Stop the frozen shelter, stop the last stand, right? Those sort of things. But right now we're looking towards the urn. I mean, in 10 seconds it's gonna be replaced, right? So yeah, unsure if they will actually go for it, just keep playing keep away, or maybe they're gonna bait Paige into scooping it up. Okay, no, she knows it's a trap. She's getting the heck out of it.
Bit of unfortunate timing, as everything that just happened right there, I think CJ really wanted to steal it, and just Big Beef was like, hey, how you doing? You know, just walking on by. Girls be looking like, damn, she fly. But still, I think just a bit unfortunate timing right there for CJ. I think they know exactly what they wanted to do, just trying to able to secure the urn. But again, Big Beef showed up and was just kind of like, nah,
you ain't doing that. Yeah, definitely a good positioning play. They've kept the urn, so it's now respawned, and they have total map control, so they can just scoop it up again. And if they feel emboldened to run it at this 20k lead, they certainly could, but they might be waiting for Cammy to really hit that boiling point before they just go full throttle and decide to end it. This has been the contentions point that we've been noticing all game long with DDS, is how they close game out, but it's gonna start with Cammy right here, right now.
Bit of a rough fight in the jungle starting off already. We're going to be seeing the Size Exam and the Kelvin Dome getting triggered out for it. The combo from Fenix is going to be able to hold out at least one, but it's going to be the fight of the ages, as here we are. The Singularity pulls in too, but he's going to get hit with the petrifying bow. It's going to be able to stop him for this one. The dead man is being resurrected in the middle of the fight. Fenix is out of it. The mole man was not able to sustain himself, and the detective, even though the brooding force that he is going to be taken out for this one. Victor is also dead for sure, and this is going to be the first regen already being used for the side of Noob Down. The Shactus is going to be able to use the second one for it, and this is looking mighty nice for Abrahamsjr. I mean, Noob Down, my mistake.
I mean, yeah, but they got a couple rejuves off, which is okay. That's, especially with this much of a deficit, that feels pretty good. The silver was almost non-existent in that fight, but I love the warp stone from Kami here, because sometimes you get the liking curse, you have to retreat a little bit, you warp stone and jump on somebody when they're least expecting it, but this will definitely be a walker and potentially even an urn. So a great team fight win. They're rolling it now into a couple of objectives, ballooning their lead even further.
Ballooning their lead. they're trying to blow it up. I like what you did right there. That was really good. I'm not gonna lie. But again, Abrahamsjr is really struggling just to put at least just one foot into the door. Right there, they got it open. They're able to put it ajar, but you know, Noob Down keeps going like, close the door, man. You're letting the AC out.
especially where you're over like Cali, right? It's probably pretty warm over there. We had a nice like 60-degree day here on the East Coast, so I turned the air conditioning off and I'm feeling pretty good. But these guys are heating it up right now. Another urn grabbed by Noob down. They have not relinquished this objective for even an instant throughout this entire match.
No, and if anything, this is showing the priority, the importance of urn, right? These are comeback urns. They're designed to be able to allow Abrahamsjr to come back. But if Noob Down just keeps securing all these urns back to back to back to back, they are just getting this 15k solely that is just so detrimental for Abrahamsjr because they're just relying so much on getting farm and boxes. And if there's only so much of that that neutral objective for your team, only so much can go out to so many people.
And look at the farm now, folks. For the Hidden King side, there's what? Maybe 2 or 3 camps available, which means that they have to step up in lane if they want to secure souls, which is dangerous for them with the likes of Shactus and Big Beef and Cammy on the hunt now for kills. The Boundless Spirit picked up for the side of Big Beef, so those love bites are going to be big chops if they go off on you. So this is dangerous here for Abrahamsjr. You have to know how to play from behind. That's part of good coaching. But when you are lacking your jungle, you're lacking your objectives, it's a difficult mountain to climb.
Well, mountain they shall climb, as they will try to reach the highest peak of it all. And Urn is already just being brought into it. They're perfectly delivering this. I mean, Tucson is about to have Singularity again in just a couple seconds, so I think if they time this just about right, they can easily just secure this objective. Sun is also holding on to Kelvin Dome, so as we are seeing the fight already go onto it, they're going to be able to knock it down out of the Kelvin, but Kelvin is going to be immediately pulled out of this fight for a second there, as we are unfortunately seeing Mo and Krill just get bullied out of it, and he's going to burrow out of it to stay alive for a little bit longer. But Phoenix actually gets taken out for this one. It's Tucson and managing to secure the kill onto us. The ultimates are just getting triggered left and right. Here we are. We're going to be seeing answers as well. Triggered out for Resurrected in the middle of the fight. The Knights of the Round Table gets summoned out for this one. The Singularity gets triggered out for this one. Going to pull in not one but two. And this is looking good for the side of Noob Down. They held on to their ultimates so perfectly. They were able to do everything they can. Abrahamsjr is down for 60 seconds on the clock.
I mean, the writing was kind of on the wall. Their team fight is so strong, but I love the patience from Noob Down waiting for the Singularity come online as their team fight secure. Unfortunately for Fett, he just on the Moan Krill just got caught out, and that's sometimes what you do as the Mole Man, trying to look for that combo pick. And Ascend, I think, has got to be a player I unfortunately have to highlight, has not made an impact here at all throughout the game since being shut down in the early game. No seismic impacts, no shoulder charge combinations, right? They haven't really been able to pair him well with the rest of their team. The synergy is just lacking. Noob Down, full control of this. They take that mid walker with ease. Only one more to go.
Kind of like I said before at the start of this match, bit of mismatching lineups there. Again, if you're having a big tank like that against Big Beef, who's playing the Mina, again, it's that character that really thrives on big targets, primarily because of how quickly she can trigger those bats, right? And those are going to be stacks that are permanent. They do not go away. And then Nox Nostris is going to come online later down the line and be like, hey, you know what? Silencing and damage. Let's do two things at once.
And that's a really strong ability, right? Being able to make sure folks can't escape from you and doing damage all the while. I mean, that is why they were on this kill streak right now, and a tough contender to go up against. I still need to see how they are going to close it out. They have their win conditions. They've been executing them with each and every neutral game objective, but take it a step further, push the tempo a little bit more. But they're playing carefully. It is the finals after all. They want to win it. They want to win it clean, do their coach proud, so I can't blame them for that. But sometimes I just want them to fight. I just want to see some more aggression from the teams. But they're playing disciplined, and you got to applaud that.
Already, and we're all seeing this as well. Like, I mean, Sun is coming in from the corners of like every positioning he can. He's coming in from the side lanes, he's coming in from mid, he's coming in from the heavens, he comes in from the underground. I mean, Sun's just there for some reason every single team fight, and it's proven worth because Sun is just a hidden snowman every single time because he just comes in with the Kelvin Dome out of nowhere. I feel like he just sits in corners and he's like, I've been here the whole time.
I mean, the sun is the most reliable thing in our lives, right? How the saying goes. So he's always gonna rise, always gonna set with the team, and I think he's just doing a fantastic job throughout this. So the mid boss is available, it has spawned. They're waiting once again for this Dynamo ult, right? Singularity to be available, and I want to see Sune get up to this refresher. They have the unstoppable, which is great, right? You utilize that to make sure the full duration of the ultimate gets expended. But I want to see 2, so that way they can chain their fights back to back and really push that tempo, storm the base, and close this game out. But they've been playing to their strengths incredibly well here, Noob down, and it's just really about how they want to finish it. All the while, though, the Victor and the Mirage have been scaling. 37k souls here for the Mirage himself, but can he deadlift the team? That's the question.
You could say he's deadlock in on deadlifting this team up.
He's got to be.
He's got to be, man. We got to make sure that they're all deadlocked in. But again, it's going to be a little bit hard for Abrahamsjr to be able to secure a fight for this one. Noob down having a lot of more team fight oriented ultimates is going to be in their benefit for that. And then on top of that, if Cozy decides that he's going to build Lightning Scroll, that's another ultimate as well that's just going to be annoying in the middle of every single fight. It's going to stun everyone. It's going to make sure that they are just down for a couple seconds, because again, those little increments of timing matter in every single bit of team fight. And I'm just right now looking at Turtle's damage, and that's just insane that he just cleared out that way with like 2 bullets. But speaking of being able to get cleared out, oh, that's going to be CJ down for the fight. The Nox Nostra, again, we are talking about it as before. The damage is just so strong right now. I think it's at 38 stacks.
Yeah, that is insanely powerful. Those love bites really hurting. And this was great from Noob down. Pretend to commit to the mid-boss, force Abrahamsjr to be like, wait, are you really doing this? Do we have to check? And a lot of times it's the support's responsibility to phase check some of these areas, and the page, not a lot of mobility in her kit inherently, gets caught out there and bursted immediately. This is the final fight here for the mid-boss, a massive slew of ultimates.
Already the cover them is gonna get triggered out for this one, but I don't think it even matters anymore. Tsune's just holding it down, and he's just gonna be able to do it again. That's gonna be 2 Reju's already down to the center. Noob down. Abrahamsjr is doing whatever they can to try to pop off more than they could. Kelvin Dome gets triggered out for this one. He was holding on to the Professor secretly in his pocket, and it's gonna keep everyone alive again. The ultimates and Nox Nostra is gonna be able to secure another kill for this one. Neurosis is gonna get immediately resurrected for this one. Victor is trying their best to survive, but that's gonna be an entire team wipe for Abrahamsjr. As Noob down, even though they lose 2 rejuves, they're able to still hold 1 in their pocket.
And that is what we call a ritual reset, my friends, when all the players get eliminated from one side. And that was Sun with the refresher to heal everyone through the massive amount of burst from the Hidden King side. They are able to take that fight pretty clean. Now one final walker stands in their way. The base guardians to boot. I think they're going to storm this, probably get a couple shrines as well. Fantastic work. I know Kashi and the rest of the green room are saying keep it, because that was one the desk is definitely going to highlight. Expert work here from Noob down. They're showing why they're on top.
I also think it's very funny that the animation syncing is going up to Shiv bobbing his head at the same time as the beat of the Taken King. I mean, come on, man. Who doesn't love that bass riff that comes in at the beginning of every round, you know? The holy trinity of, like, yeah, I'm evil baseline.
Yeah, I mean, he was a criminal turned monster hunter, so, you know, he's got that bad boy dark side to him. So fantastic, both shrines now eliminated, so the Mega Troopers will be storming each and every lane, knocking down the door. And look at this, Sun doing the dirty work, picking. I can't highlight this guy enough, I'm sorry. I gotta glaze the supports because they're doing all the right things. He's securing the urn for his team, making sure that lead cannot be surmounted. Expert job here, also jungling backwards for the side of Noob down, making sure there's nothing left available for Abrahamsjr to even touch as they try to come back.
Sun is just the literally, like you said before, you know, you take the moon and you take the sun, you take everything that seems like fun and you stir it all up, and when you're done, you have the support man himself just taking care of everything, right? He's securing objectives for the team. He's also allowing them to take the farm, right? He's not being greedy about it. He's like, hey, you know what? Take the farm. You know, I'll be here for you in case you need me.
That's, yeah, what every good support should do. Okay. Now, Noob down. They've gotten the shrines. Still both phases of the Hidden King available, right? It's not in its weakened state. So 1 minute and 20 seconds for their 1 rejuve. Do they use it? Do they wait again for 3 minutes for the mid-boss to come online? Have Abrahamsjr commit to it, follow the flow chart to perfection, win another fight, and then see what they can do. But the thing with waiting is that you allow the other team to find some farm across the map and maybe hit a power spike that you're not aware of, or get like a refresher that you can't see. I think Noob Down, though, they'll be okay because a lot of these single target abilities like the combo, the Petrifying Bola, that's not going to be enough to win them the team fight outright. So Noob Down, they're fine with being patient here for now.
Yeah, I think Noob Down is just waiting to see if they can get another pick off for this one. I think Abrahamsjr as well, even though they do happen to have the Bone Curl, right? They're not really focusing on trying to hunt someone down in particular. I think if anything, they're allowing their Bone Curl to do the ultimate during the middle of the team fights, which isn't the best option for this one. And a bit of mispositioning right here as we're going to be seeing Neurosis get triggered out for this one already. That's going to be a resurrection coming in for this one. He's going to get stunned out for it. Somehow, actually doesn't manage to get the pin onto this one, but Neurosis is dropping really low. He gets taken down, and it's going to be a side 6 time. It's going to be a double knockup from the page as well, but the Kelvin Dome is going to get triggered out for it. He's not going to be able to land the target off for this one. This Dynamo wants to be able to see if he can go in for this one, but he's going to get the double parry onto it again, but Shactus comes in, takes out the execution onto it. Ascend is down for the fight. And we are seeing this right now. The Hidden King is no longer hidden as the Noob Down is just pushing into that base. They see the King. They want to be able to take it down. They want to secure the throne for themselves and allow the Arc Mother to provide for her children.
She is joyous for sure. Abrahamsjr going for this kind of pick composition, right? Finding single target opportunities, but they themselves have been the ones getting picked. Just this high tempo ability of Noob Down, just really showing their dominance here. But they've still got one more thing to do, and that's take down the Hidden King. One final defense for Abrahamsjr.
Oh, here we are. We're going to be seeing the Singularity come out for this one. It's going to be able to pull not 1 but 2 but 3. And it's looking good for Noob Down as they go ahead and secure the first round.
You love to see it. Another ritual reset after a massive singularity. Dynamo mains rise up. That's exactly what he's looking for in the late game to secure those kills. Noob Down, that was dominance from start to finish. They played every phase of the game expertly well. Their macro positioning around objectives was sublime. Their one pit fight that they really needed to focus on, they won it outright off the back of clutch items and great positioning from their support player. I mean, this was just great from Noob Down. They are right to be in this first place position. But Abrahamsjr, we watched them in that lower semifinals. We know they have the stuff to do it. I think it was just a compositional error in terms of their team. Let's see what they do in the next draft.
Very solid performance coming out from Noob Down on that one. Soren, we talked a lot about how prestigious these two teams are, how well they performed in their runs up to this point. It was a close game at the start there, but Noob Down showed their
with the AoE silence. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't seem bad. I'm just curious to see how it's gonna play out. It seems decent, in my opinion.
Well, I'm glad that your curiosity is piqued, Escape, because we are gonna have to see how this one goes down. I'll send you at least once more to our casters, Seymour and HD Philly B.
Whoa, thank you guys. We had to make a little bit of a last-second switch-up on the desk here. Admiral, it was getting a little bit late, and I totally understand. It was late for me. I was just about ready to hop in bed, and they're like, guys, we need somebody to emergency cast. I'm here, guys. I'm ready to go. Philly, games have been good. Games have been long today. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Energy is high for me. I'm excited to see how this final match goes up. We've heard some emphatic words from the Noob Down coach. Their team has been undefeated throughout this bracket run. They're looking to close this out with an unorthodox composition.
Yeah, unorthodox. Some might look towards that and what we got from those picks. And we'll talk about it very, very soon. But I like what you're saying because they are undefeated. They haven't dropped the map. And they're going up against a team in Abrahamsjr that are avidly looking for ways to get through this Noob Down team that just doesn't give up, it seems. And I like where Escape was kind of breaking things down on that desk and talking about, you know, what kind of stuff they're working on going into this final, the map control, their positioning in these earn fights have been incredible, especially in that game number 1, Phil. But going into this game number 2, it's something where, you know, you look at Abrahamsjr and you're hoping that they can start to piece that together on their own right, because there were so many times where Abrahamsjr back in that game number 1, they had a chance. They were right there. And if they can start piecing together that map control, those ways to kind of get through these large objective fights, I mean, especially with what we're getting in their team composition, the Lash, the Ivy, the Mirage, they're going to have great contest potential, especially with this Apollo pick. I'm a big fan of it.
Yeah, a massive fan. I mean, it's a great team fight ultimate, great in the lane. He's just such a nuisance, right? He just no matter who you pair him with, you always feel like you can get pressure in the lane, push the waves down. They maneuver him onto this quote-unquote weak side, but they pair him with the Ivy, which I would imagine she's going to go heavy spirit, get those Kazu bombs, and just they really want to make sure that this Silver does not get online at all. Last time Kami was able to just farm for free. They're looking to put the stem to that bleeding here in this one.
And I like how you're kind of saying for Noob Down, you know, it's a little bit of an unorthodox composition that they're putting together. You have the Page instead of the Calvin for Sun, and the Calvin was so influential to game number 1. The desk really made sure to hammer that one home. But you still get the same kind of idea with this Page pick, especially in terms of having that rallying charge, having the captivating read to just disrupt and make sure that you're containing a lot of these fights. You know, that paired with this now Bebop for the pick potential, I think Abrahamsjr have a lot to worry about in this game. You know, it's definitely something where you really need to keep in mind where you're standing in these team fights still.
Yeah, there's a lot of mobility too for Abrahamsjr, right? The Haze get the smoke bomb, and the Lash can grapple around, and the fearless advance here from the Apollo. So a lot of different ways to maneuver around that hook, but still in this mid lane, if they yoink one person, it could be disastrous. So there have to be fleet of foot, pun intended, here in the mid dance. Well, something, Seymour, that I noticed from the draft is there was no Abrams, either picked nor banned. They went completely away from the detective. That is just wild for me to see. So no big frontliner there.
Who's the junior in this composition right now? That's kind of what I'm wondering. Who is Abrams Jr.?
I guess we got to bring in the coach and find out. I don't know who the junior is.
Maybe you got to give it over to Ivy is like the only thing that I can really think about here for this composition. But I feel like that's a rabbit hole we don't really want to dive into at this very moment. It's been a very, I'd say, tame start to game number 2. No real action, a couple health bars going low, a lot of give or take, but the boxes are up, and we're coming up on that bridge buffs in about 2.5 minutes. So this is where we're going to start to see some of these rotations from either team try to set up for the first wave of objectives.
Yeah, and I'm not seeing too much in terms of the kill potential in a lot of these lanes unless Shaktus gets a hook and, you know, find somebody out of position. But I think everyone's going to be content to wait till those ultimates come online. That's where the powder keg fills and explodes, and we'll see those deaths come rattling through. So just wait for that moment, folks, and it's about who can farm it up quickly. That is going to be the point to look out for. Right now, though, the Page putting on some pressure.
Oh, my goodness. I mean, already with the high velo, Apollo's going to go down. Kami finished that one off. A big issue from game number 1 was Kami on this silver pick. So seeing that kind of trail into game 2, we even heard it from Soren on the desk, and he was saying, is this going to be a ban? Or are we going to really see Silver be targeted? Silver hasn't really been a target in terms of those bans, so it doesn't surprise me that it wasn't. But for Abrahamsjr not even to think about grabbing that. In fact, no, Noob Down didn't even give him the chance with it being their first pick on the draft.
Yeah, very true. And Cammy was not necessarily a problem. Yes, they were very strong. They had a lot of other concerns that they had to deal with, and she was just there to kind of clean things up. So they think they know how to deal with it when it comes to those teamfight engagements, but if you let her get out of control, she's gonna be a problem. Right now, leading the server in that sole lead.
Yeah, 3K already, gonna be getting into having that Lycan curse probably quicker than anybody else. I mean, you do have the reanimation coming up for Fetmix as well. The parry's gonna come through into the Page, so Sun for a second gonna be stunned up, and Ascend gets it again. The double parried right back. This is just a parry fiesta in this lane. Unfortunately for Ascend and Siege, it won't lead to anything. Just a couple more kills for Noob Down to put more pressure on this left side Guardian.
Uh-oh, that is a double kill for the werewolf. And now she's got 2,000 souls in her pocket. Wow. That is that is scary stuff for a number of reasons. You cannot let this character run the server. A great start here for Noob Down. They're getting everything they want and more, setting up for the bridge buffs, and they're securing those too.
The gun buff to Cammy for Silver to have a little bit extra oomph in this lane. Things going well on the left side. Abrahamsjr. Start to think about where can we find some balance in this game. And I look towards this mid lane, Mirage paired with this Haze to kind of be that difference. Of course, you see Haze kind of lurking amongst their own side of the map, not really a part of this Mirage. So allowing this Mirage to solo farm lane, see if you can get buffed out a little bit to battle against this Mina or this Bebop. But a good sleep dagger onto the Mina would set things up for Thug to hopefully catch some damage onto these players. And I think that's where I'm really looking to see if Abrahamsjr can get these power carries, these gun carries, you'd say, of Ramsey and Thug online.
And I love leaving the Mirage there, but the threat of the hook is ever looming, and so he doesn't want to step up in the lane. He has to play careful because he has no one there to bail him out but himself.
Tornado.
Sure, you've got the tornado, yes, but right then you use that cooldown. Do you then want to step in again? You know it's gonna be tough. So, but he's doing well so far. 3.9k online. That's pretty good, but I mean the rest of the field for Noob Down, they're basically eclipsing him, and Tucson too getting the kill there, and now 4.4.
Things in the laney phase really falling apart right now. That's going to be the reanimation as well, burned from Fetnix. So struggling across the board just in general. Abrahamsjr not really getting off the ground just yet. You can already see Sun too, 5k on this page, rotating into the mid lane just to continue to allow Cammy to farm on the left side of the map, deal some objective damage, do whatever she needs in the Silver just to get even more powerful. And Sun has no worries, whether it's Kelvin or Paige. It just seems like you've leveled up moving to this pick. The Bookworm, Frostman, doesn't matter. Captivating Reed's going to catch some more CC onto Ramsey, force the Haze back half HP. And Noob Down, I mean, game number 1, very close towards the end. Game number 2, they are out the gates so hot.
And Sun's allowed to do this because Cammy is so far ahead. They have some of their vitality items online. They feel comfortable stepping up in lane, so these rotations can come through, which is just tipping the balance even more. The flip side here with Ramsey going once again onto this Assassin Initiator pick. They were the Viper in game 1. They were trying to scale up, trying to find those picks, but right now Ramsey just far behind in terms of souls, and that's not where Haze wants to be. She wants to be ahead so she can burst you down. This is trouble already on the horizon, and Death Slam coming in.
Big Death Slam, see if it can work for Abrahamsjr to at least catch Cammy off guard. Critical HP on the Silver. Ramsey's going to pick up that kill. A little bit extra assistance from majority of your lane too. Sun's in trouble. Captivating Raid's gonna catch all 3 players, but a stun up from the Sigil. And I don't think Sun's gonna be able to get away from this one. 4 players to take down the Page and the Silver. Abrahamsjr trying to find some balance, some yin to their yang in game number 2 quickly, only down 2k souls.
I mean, so many resources rotated over there to take down Cammy, and for good reason. A nice bounty chunked, but look at the bounty accrued from Big Beef, and they get that middle Guardian down for themselves. So you trade, like we said, it's all about trades. You can trade an HP pool for an objective on the map, and they do just that. This will allow this Bebop to rotate around the map. They're gonna have to keep their heads on the swivel here, Abrahamsjr, or else they'll get hooked.
I think there's a couple things for Abrahamsjr that I'm really looking at, and a lot of it stems off of the performance of the Mirage and the Haze in this game too. So you can see Tucson too soon gonna get caught there from Noob Down. We haven't really talked much about this Dynamo Singularity towards the end of that mid-boss fight having major impact to where those Rejuvenators went at the end of game number 1, but again, I kind of want to shift my attention for Abrahamsjr to finishing my point there for Ramsey and Thug. I mean, you don't normally see a Mirage down in souls. Right now, 6.9k. You're not out of the conversation just yet, but you're still worried about taking a fight versus Big Beef or Cammy at the moment. It's really important right now if you're looking at, you know, a Haze who, as a character, just struggles to play from behind in her role. well, think about a Mirage playing from behind. We don't normally see that very often, and we haven't really seen Thug try to farm any of these side lanes, just sticking to mid lane, doing whatever you can, and really being boxed out by Shactus on this Bebop. It's troublesome to watch.
Yeah, he has to stay there. He can't travel out of the lanes just yet. But they're getting a ton of souls onto Fett, and I think that's really their late game carry. That's where they want to put all of their eggs in the basket. The Thug and Turtle, which I think is an awesome name, by the way. Great job, Thuggin. I think that he's going to just be that threat here in the lane, help them as they go to the mid to late game portion, but really they're getting the souls on who they want to. It's this bend, don't break strategy, but they're breaking here. They're almost lost every single Guardian at the 10-minute mark.
Yeah, and I mean, you even talk about the end of game one, they still had a Guardian that wasn't taken down. So with this urn being ran by Sun, is this a moment where you need to start seeing Abrahamsjr give up this urn, start to pressure out these objectives, and try to get some trades across the map where you just cannot fight this urn just yet? 4 players going to be on the right side of the map for either side of this team. And it does look like actually Big Beef is going to wait a little bit before getting over here. It has the Sanguine retreat, so it is going to be a quick rotation over to the right side. Here comes the Hyper Beam from Shactus. A lot of space being gained. Nox Nostra going to be ripped right away from Big Beef on the flank. Do some damage onto that front line, and it doesn't seem like it's done too much, but it has given way to this urn getting delivered. Here comes Abrahamsjr trying to contest this battle on the exit. It's the hook from Shactus to connect onto the Victor. Fetnix is going to be dropped to the back, and the flawless advance from Ascend leading back into the fight. Abrahamsjr behind this Victor. 2 kills already, and it's going to proc the Singularity. Not going to happen, though, for too soon. He goes down. It's 3 kills leading to the Guardian. You lose the urn. You win the fight. You're still even in souls.
And that's the best thing you can ask for. Get those exit eliminations, because the Noob down is so focused on how do we get to the urn securely. They're giving up little pieces of positioning. Abraham's finding those little pockets of space and then pouncing on them. I love how they kind of speed boosted Fett in there. He kind of exploded onto everybody, and then they followed up after that, the Death Slam, to chain it through. Because really, if you think about it, there's not too many team fight ultimates. It's really this Death Slam and the ultimate from Ascend that are gonna create that space for them. They expertly found that re-engage opportunity and keep themselves in the map here for now, which is great to see.
And you start to think at that point, like, okay, who do I want to hook?
Yeah.
You know, you hook Ascend on this Apollo. That's the Atanilo San getting ripped right away inside your whole team for that fight. So you're basically feeding Apollo that opportunity to use your ultimate. CJ, you got the Stone Form reanimation for Fetnix. You know, you have a lot really to escape this pick potential for Noob down. I think really for Abrahamsjr, it's just, can they perform in those micro moments?
100%. And this is what we know they can do. We've watched them in that semifinal. We've heard from the coach. We know they have it in them. I think just before it was that compositional era that they had. The Haze, though, is still in that performative space. I want to see a big sleep dagger to set up this Apollo, because he will fall off later down the line. He needs to get some snowball going. He is behind right now, but 16,000 souls for the side of Fett is exactly where he wants to be. If they can ride his coattails to victory, they'll do just that.
We had 4 players from Abrahamsjr rotate to the left side of the map. Cozy doing a good job at making sure that there is no wave control for these heroes to start to push into this left side Guardian. So immediately Abrahamsjr going to recognize that, separate 2-2-2 split across the map, default. And same could be said for Noob down, farming their jungles, buffing themselves out. You have every single Guardian down in each lane. So there's no reason to try and rush any fights. Slowing Hex on the Mirage. See if you can catch Thug in here. Lots of damage comes through from the page, and the knockdown as well is going to force the tornado a little bit early. Parry not going to land. And the assistance from Cozy takes the Mirage out. Ascend goes down at the same time. And across the map, here comes the rallying charge to heal up Big Beef. Stun up CJ. And see if you can continue to keep your front foot forward through this mid lane.
Whew, this page doing everything. Son, truly the MVP in my eyes. I don't care what the scoreboard says. Having vision across the map to even help in a fight in the mid lane while focusing on taking down the carry. Magnificent stuff. And just in time now here for the Urn to come online. They're in position for it.
How many times in your career of commentating Deadlock or even playing this game have you seen a page 1v1 a Mirage that simply?
Not many times, my friend, but I'm happy to see it today. That's +1 for the supports.
Yes, it is. That's +1 for book readers around the map. The Cursed Apple's feeling the wrath of Paige on this night. As it's some good movement from Neurosis to get away from the pressure of Big Beef back towards your Walker. Urns picked up. It is going to be neutral. So there's a chance that Abrahamsjr can force this fight. I mean, you did win the last Urn fight after it was delivered by Noob down. You're coming into it with all of your ultimates. You're just missing that airdrop. And really, how influential will that be to this team fight if not rotating? This might be a moment where Abrahamsjr might want to put some wave pressure down through mid. You do have Cammy away from this Urn fight. Going to be a late rotation from this Silver, but still one you have to worry about. Noob down very confident right now with their map control.
100%, and they've postured this Dynamo here for good reason. Has the Singularity available with the Warp Stone, and that is a crucial fact, so he could be a little sneaky over there before he dive bombs in, but it looks like the Urn will be secure.
Death Slam. It's going to be met by the Quantum Entanglement. You got to pull back both the Page and the Wraith. Thuggin still goes down. Cozy going to make sure you drop first blood in this team fight. You're trying to switch things around if you're Neurosis, but it doesn't look like this Lash is going to do enough. Nox Nostra is going to rip right through that health. It's 2 kills on either side. 4 versus 4. The reanimation for Fed is going to make sure that this Victor is still active in this fight, but as soon as you're done, the Lycan's Curse alongside these Love Bites, it's way too much chop to worry about. And the rest of Noob down just going to chase through the lines of Abrahamsjr right into the Walker as well. As Sen falls, the Apollo is gone, and so will be this Walker. Fortunately enough, though, Phil, you see on blue through mid, there was a trade on a Guardian, so you can see that Abrahamsjr still trying to keep some kind of confidence here on this map.
I mean, doing better than they did last time, right? They've secured a few Guardians for themselves. Uh-oh, this is gonna be close. There's a pretty big bag on this Haze. No, the Immobilize gets them, but this Page, we know, wants to take every fight they can. They're going into Teleporter. They're going up close and personal. They're gonna chase this Haze down. They find the kill.
With the bomb at the end, stacks
oh
going
no,
through.
tactical crowd Seymour. Oh
Cactus,
no.
and a little extra love coming through. I mean, that captivating read. Did you see the foresight from Sun to place it inside of that secret shop? You read the movement of Ramsey, you anticipate where this Haze is going to go, and there's really not that many space for Haze to move around in that moment. Sun really is playing chess in a game of checkers right now.
And that just shows their experience. We talked to the coach Escape, and he said, I didn't really have to work on their individual skill. It was just about playing as a team. And Sun highlighting how they already came in with some stuff and some talent to work with. So a great highlight there, but a lot more still left on this map. This game is far from over, Seymour. The teams are farming up for their next power spikes. They're going to be fighting over this Urn that will pop up in 20 minutes.
This next Urn fight is going to be so important for Abrahamsjr, and I think they have to start recognizing what Noob Down are kind of approaching these fights with, and that's just separate them, see if you can find some numbers advantage in these moments, and as soon as Sun hits that captivating read, pounce. You saw in the last fight, Cammy spent so much time on the right side of the map just pressuring in that wave towards the Walker. It kept Ascend there for quite a long time, and the whole time Cammy was holding on to that fast zip line, and the rotation from the Silver a lot faster than I think Ascend really expected, allowing the 6v5, allowing that to just be an advantage for Noob Down early. Abrahamsjr just need to be a little bit more focused on keeping this wave control a little bit neutral. If you can't get towards these Guardians, if you can't push these Walkers, that's fine. You just need to make sure that you have a foot to stand on in a lot of these fights. We get a little look at what we're looking at for the bracket there, but we got to go back to the game because we're 20 minutes in now. You got the mid boss, you got the next set of bridge buffs, a lot to kind of look forward to.
That was a quick leak from our producer. Our Division 4 did conclude, and we have a winner, but we won't tell you who it is just yet. You got to wait for this one to finish before we reveal the teams. They are gearing up. They know this urn is going to spawn. The most crucial thing about that previous fight in lane 1 is that the Dynamo held on to their singularity, so they will have it for this engagement. Uh-oh, this is going to be a big 1v1, Seymour. There's a slippery escape from the Vampire Ass, of course.
Oh, and the Sanguine Retreat's going to be a little bit early in this whole set, so the chase in, bullet dance, a little too high. The Nox Nostril flies above the bullets. No worried about tangoing with this haze. And Big Beef still has a chance to get away from this one. Rallying Charge is going to heal this Mina back up. Still on the escape, healing right as well in the pocket. So no need to go back to the spawn just yet. That slam's going to pull you back. And Shaktas is the first to fall. Bebop is out. And it's a 6v5 for the moment for Abrahamsjr. Ramsey, though, going to keep this one even in the fight. A trade onto the haze. And the urn is picked up for a moment. It is going to be a safe urn for Abrahamsjr, but the thing that's not safe is the health pools.
Yeah, I mean, this was exactly what Ramsey needed to do. Force out the mid-game carry in the Mina and find somebody out of position because it's a save your friend syndrome situation. They find the Bebop and they're able to take the advantage and get the urn for themselves. They're going to score this one. Yeah, score it easy. So perfect. Finally seeing Ramsey create some impact.
And you can see how kind of, you know, there's no Calvin, guys. You don't have to worry about tiptoeing your way into the urn this time. But the other side, Noob Down are going to recognize this, and they're going to force the mid-boss. So Abrahamsjr still lacking a major team fight ultimate without that Lash ult available. This is a good call for Noob Down. You still have that singularity of the Nox Nostril, and right away the telekinesis is going to interrupt the Ivy. Rejuvenator is going to be captured by Ascend, so Abrahamsjr just have to one. It's going to be used up by Thug, but is it going to be enough? 5 versus 5. Here comes everything on either side, and the singularity just has not trapped anybody. Ascend falls. 4v5, 4v4. This fight just continues to tiptoe from either side. It's a balance that neither one can find yet. Fett's going to be in the fight now, and the Lycan's Curse not going to outlast the rest. A 2v3. Last up is going to be Neurosis, the Lash on the run, and no way to get out of this tunnel. All 6 down for Abrahamsjr, and Noob Down ready to take this game by storm.
And that's a ritual reset here for Noob Down, sending everybody to the gray screen. Oh, I love it. What a change in tempo from this Hidden King side. They recognized the big Wombo combo ultimates not on the board. They had all of theirs, the singularity. They've been waiting for that prime moment to utilize it, and they took that pit fight in emphatic fashion. There were some trades here and there, but Cammy really being that front line that this team needs, taking the brunt of the damage and allowing the Wraith and the Mina to maneuver in this space and just shoot everybody down. Fantastic pit work there from Noob Down. They're getting their just desserts by taking these structures.
Yeah, I mean, fortunately enough, that could have been even worse, I think, if Ascend didn't steal away that one Rejuvenator. It allowed Thug to come back into the fight. Yeah. But for everybody to kind of come back into it again, I talked about this Mirage, 19K, 057 assists. Where do you find value in this Mirage, where normally a Mirage is going to be such a late game gun carry? You just don't see that same impact here in game number 2. And again, that is one of my biggest worries right now for Abrahamsjr.
And he's going for they are going for a hybrid build. You see that all of the stacks were leveled, so you're really not kind of putting a punch in when you need to. And they always say that your carry should be 1,000 souls, you know, based on the minute, right? So they should be at 23,000 souls. They're behind a significant margin here. Fortunately, though, if you kind of levy the scales, it's going to be fed with 30, but a huge one coming in.
Barely going to miss out, though, on Big Beef. So Sanguine Retreat's going to have to be forced out to get away. You have that healing right. It doesn't get enough off of it, so Shaktas gonna have to use theirs to heal this Mina back up. It's a disengage from either side. Nobody died in that tussle. So Abrahamsjr get to go back and rethink their strategy to how to approach this. You don't have that Death Slam either, so this isn't going to be a team fight that you really want to force just yet. You have some camps on either side that you might want to look at here. I think that's what Fett is going for right now. Just continue to power up this Victor.
I think both teams are going to be very content to just farm up a little bit. No ultimates available. No major objectives. I mean, the urn comes up in about 45 seconds, so maybe they go for it. Ascend will have to be leading the charge with his ultimate there, but I don't know. I think that they're okay with just pushing the waves. Let's play a little tug of war, a little macro game. Maybe find somebody out of position if we can. This is where it can always get a little bit testy, folks, is when somebody steps out of line. But a good group up here from Noob down. They don't want to make sure. They want to make sure nobody gets caught out.
Got Warp Stone and Singularity. Too Soon might be looking for a way into this fight. They're stealing away the jungle of Abrahamsjr, and that just continues to sway this 20k soul lead that Noob Down has. Cozy gonna be forcing a little bit of a fight here. Thug's gonna be caught out of position. The slowing hex as well forces the hook from Shactus. Parry lands onto Cozy, but even still, Thug goes down. No change in health pulls from Neurosis on the slam in, and the ground pound might be flashy, but it's not going to change this direction. Still into the fight. Cozy trying to burn through the health pool of this Victor. Shactus on the inside of the Veil. In trouble, but still alive. Sun goes down. The first one there. Page, reanimation. Going to be forced out by the Victor. So no ultimate, and Shactus will end up going down. Numbers advantage for the moment. And it looks like Abrahamsjr want to use that to their best ability. Fet on the regain. Back in for this one. Singularity's going to catch a few of your teammates. And it looks like Too Soon's actually going to die in it. So the ultimate doesn't really come out with as much as you wanted to for Noob Down. 3 players off the board, but it's still 3 players down for Abrahamsjr as well. And the health pool's looking good for Noob Down to continue to force their way back in. TP in from the Wraith. The chase down on the Neurosis. Laz trying to show some fancy footwork and get away from it, but it just doesn't seem like that's going to be on the cards for Wraith. Neurosis dead. 3 players still on the respawn for Abrahamsjr. And wave advantage for Noob Down to keep the pressure going, keep this lead inbound.
I mean, Noob Down was doing that basically without Cammy for 3/4 of that fight, and then the Lycan came through and just eliminated people. If there was a Walker to take on lane 1, that would have been dismantled in an instant. She was free farming there for about 2 minutes before arriving into this fight. They don't even care about the urn. They want those extra flex slots because look at the amount of souls that they have. This is a huge payday for Noob Down, and they are hitting their power spikes. The next team fight will not be as close. Noob Down looking good.
I fear this is going to be the end for Abrahamsjr in our Division 2 matchup, this grand final. I mean, game number 1 was so neck and neck, it felt at times, that Abrahamsjr, even though they were behind, they still had so much to offer in these team fights. And really early on, I mean, you called it there for Abrahamsjr, and they're finding these kills, they're finding some sort of numbers advantage at the start, but that's like without Noob Down even having a single player in the fight. As soon as that last player shows up, it just seems like it's game over. You still have so many major abilities for Noob Down to use on that re-engage, and Abrahamsjr just kind of blow their load too early, and there's just nothing to work with after.
Yeah, big alt dump or a big ability dump there for sure. Now we're going to be hotly contested over this urn. This might just be kind of a bait and switch, create more space across the map. I don't feel like they don't need to turn this in. We've seen them kind of play keep away with it for a while.
Yeah.
But if they're looking to force a fight, they have the opportunity to do so.
What's Ramsey's idea here? Just flank play on the haze, see if you can land a sleep dagger and open things up with the Fury Trance bullet dance. It does seem like that's going to be the idea. Late rotation in from Neurosis. You'd love to have the Death Slam here. Singularity, 30 seconds on the cooldown for Too Soon. Here's the Death Slam on the inside. Is going to grab anybody. Page is going to be sleep daggered out of this one of the Fury Trance. Gets right through the Page. No rallying charge. Telekinesis is going to be used to burn right back in through. And it does look like Noob Down still continuing to keep the numbers in their favor. Ramsey, Cozy turns around, takes the haze out. That's punishment for going to the Bookworm. And no matter what you can do to initiate that fight, it's Noob Down on top. Like you said, they're too far gone. This game's too far out of hand.
Oh my goodness. I mean, I love to see the solo bolo there, but I would have loved even more from Dia to see the whole fight in earnest because it was a sweep across the board of health bars. But I gotta highlight this Bebop here, yoinking some people out of position, really getting the fight started, and now dropping off the urn at the last bit of help too. They're going for the mid boss to close this one out.
At 15 HP, no problem.
Easy.
Says Shactus. Bebop's gonna do what Bebop does best. Live. Do immense amount of damage. 40k on Cozy. This Wraith has been impeccable for Noob Down. And we put so much focus on the Big Beef, so much focus on the Cammy and Sun. You just gotta show some love to this Wraith pick of Cozy. Always involved, always doing just so much damage. And the chase down with that telekinesis onto Ramsey, just not allowing that Haze to get out scot-free for taking Sun out of that fight early on. And I like the play for Abrahamsjr on that approach, Philly. It's just when Ramsey is done with his food, where do you go from there?
Yeah, this is the difficult part for Abrahamsjr. is who do you prioritize, because there's so many threats. If you're trying to take down Cammy, well, Shactus is going to yoink you down. If you're looking at Big Beef in the sky, well, Cozy's there off the off angle shooting you down. There are just too many threats for them to eliminate. They just don't have the firepower to do it at this point. So yeah, you can find the singular pick on the support, whatever.
You even steal away the green buff too, so Ramsey continues to be the light at the end of the tunnel for Abrahamsjr. If there's anybody who has impressed me in this game, it has been the Haze.
Yeah, definitely a true performance from them. We saw what they were trying to cook up on the Viper in game 1, but Haze looking a lot more comfortable in finding those singular picks. And would you believe it, Seymour, another earn run here for Noob.
I would believe it. Up the escalator we go. It seems like nobody's going to be able to contest this one. Ramsey trying to get some wave control on the right side of the map. Majority of Noob down. Forcing their way down the blue lane through mid. Ramsey starting to get collapsed on. So fortunately enough, the smoke bomb is going to give you some way out of this fight. Just trying to fancy footwork your way around, maybe even distract to these players to give a numbers advantage for the rest of your team in your own base, but Ascend's off the cooldown, so with that respawn, it's going to be a clear 4-on-4 down that mid lane with 3 rejuvenators, so Noob down, no matter what way you spin it, feeling good.
Man, this is the time to fight when you have those rejuves in your pocket, and
they're just getting out.
What? They're probably waiting for the waves. There's a couple of waves kind of
it's just so uncertain at that point. If Ramsey can somehow catch a pick onto either Sun or Shactus, that's already going to be one of the rejuvenators gone, and she's going to go right back into that with the Fury Trance. Guardian Ward going to get away from that Sleeve Dagger fast. Cursed forces Ramsey away. Haze has to be careful. Not a lot of health going on right now for the Haze to stay alive in these fights. And Thuggin's the first to fall on Abrahamsjr. So without that Mirage, it is go time for Noob down to look to finish this job, forcing themselves down the right side of the map. The chomp in, trying to get rid of this Apollo. With the Atani low Son, is it going to be enough to turn this fight with the damage that it can provide? No, not even going to be able to use it as Ascend now. 70 seconds. Back to the spawn we go. Narc's Nostra from Big Beef continuing to force these players back from Abrahamsjr, trailing in this fight with 3 players now inside of their base. It's the shrines that are opened up, and Noob down, ready to take what's theirs.
Abrahamsjr, their approach is one note. If they don't have a big Death Slam, what do they do, right? It's supposed to be Death Slam into just a ton of just damage. Well, if that doesn't come online, then they have to find these 1v1 opportunities, and Noob down has been so good at grouping up, and a well-deserved victory for them. They're beating down the hatches.
All 3 rejuves there, 20 seconds. Are they going to be able to time this one properly? They don't have too many ultimates. They still have that rallying charge. You have that Lycan's Curse and the Hyper Beam from Shactus. If I was a better man, I'd say this is going to be enough to close out this division. Tornado from Doug. Already critical health. The Mirage is going to be the first to go down yet again. Fenix is already dead on the Victor. And the Nox Nostra now from Big Beef looking to catch the rest of them, but Ascend takes him down with the Atani Losan going back into the fight. See if you can keep this one going. Abrahamsjr fighting for their tournament, fighting for their division. Flawless advance, dancing around. Good footwork coming up from this Apollo. So much damage, but so much from Noob down to worry about. They're cutting through the Archmother. They're walking through game number 2. 259k souls and a championship belt to take home for the team. Noob down 2-0 on the night. Gonna be our Div 2 champions here in the DDS.
Oh my word, they played that so well from start to finish. Not to take anything away from Abrahamsjr, they are a great squad. But Noob down just outclassed them. They figured out every phase of the game. Full map control from start to finish. Every earn in their hands. Every team fight initiation. They rolled nat 20s every single time. They got the jump, and they ran this one all the way home. Well done for them. Congratulations.
Yeah, it kind of stems down from the very beginning of what we were talking about in game number one. I mean, you had Noob down with the Kelvin on Sun that was just so impactful. You upgrade that Kelvin for a page. You take it away from CJ for Abrahamsjr. I mean, CJ on this page in game number one was doing a lot to just continue to keep these fights going over and over again. Those late game rallying charges are so impactful for these team fights. But in game number two, when you give it over towards Sun, it really started in the laning phase, and you saw the impact right away, Philly. It's just so comfortable in that support role, 1v1ing the Mirage at times. And you see a Wraith who eventually is outscaling the entire lobby in terms of souls. You just knew that this Noobs Down team, they had one thing in mind, and that was to win.
And when they did, Soren did highlight the Victor versus Wraith matchup, and Wraith was able to get the better of him because she had the support of the Lycan's Curse and the Vampiress at their back. Took down the Victor pretty easily. With that, my friend, we'll send it back to the desk for the post-game breakdown.
I don't even know why I bothered giving Philly these words when he doesn't use them at the end of the day, but that does wrap up our Division 2 here at the end of the night. Congratulations to Noob Down for taking that one home. Soren, it was a hard-fought battle all the way. What stood out to you most during that game?
I mean, just the macro understanding that Noob Down have seems to be just miles ahead of anything else that we saw tonight, even from Abrahamsjr, who were a level ahead of everything else that we saw tonight. So, like, Noob Down to me, I think they have a lot of potential to go far in the Deathslam League if they choose to continue on with their team through after this tournament. I think they could easily make it into Division 1. Who knows? Maybe one day even into Premier Division, that top echelon of DSL teams. But in this, for now, they went as far as they could in this tournament. They won every single game. 4-0 in the Swiss, perfect through the bracket, and now they are your Division 2 champions. Noob Down indeed, and the Noobs are the entire rest of the W's Death Slam. So, coming in here at the end to see the MVP screen, Cozy on this Wraith, I mean, top in just about everything there. So much damage coming in for this late game Wraith. Philly talked about it. The Victor didn't quite scale well enough for Abrahamsjr to be able to take it home. The rest of Noob Down was just too strong. We saw Too Soon on the Dynamo doing work. Kami on the Silver in both games was a real powerhouse. And then Sun on the Kelvin game 1, Page game 2. Fantastic work from the entirety of this team.